Some students fondly imagine that we set coursework to make sure that others have to go through the ringer too. Actually, coursework is a pain for us. We have to mark the thing, and there are hundreds of scripts to get through. So we're not setting coursework to get at you. We're setting coursework because it's helpful to you. The whole purpose of coursework is to explore ideas, and it's your chance to show off. You show off your knowledge, you show off your research, you show off your ability to think. A lot of students confuse that with quantity equals grades. Quantity does not equal grades. Waffle kills all known grades. Make sure that if you have something to say, you say it, explain it, and then move on to the next point. Do not try and use clever words, long sentences and so on. It just doesn't work. I'm providing a template, a coursework template, that's free to download, and do make use of the template, but you'll have to adapt it. You'll have to change the name of the program, you'll have to change the logo, but do not change the formatting. Make sure you read the red bits before you delete them. The red bits are there to show you around what you need to do and to give you an explanation. Now, you get your first bit of coursework, and the first thing you want to do is leave it alone because, of course, you haven't had any of the teaching yet, and that is a bad tactic. What you do is you download it and start the coursework immediately, as in today. You can create an introduction in section 6. That introduction should explain what's required. Now, what a lot of students do is to copy and paste from the coursework into the introduction. We know what the introduction is, we wrote it, therefore you're not adding any information that's useful. Make sure it's your version of what you understand the coursework requires. It should be in your words, and that gives you an idea of what you have to complete. You can also create a plan for completion of your coursework. Use a table or a mind map, whatever works best for you, and set up a detailed time plan. What materials do you need? What software do you need? Which discussions do you need to have? And so on. Create a list of the things that need to happen, when they need to happen, and who has to do it. You may also have the advantage of knowing which academic techniques you're going to need to use. So for this particular coursework, you're going to need to know about and so on, and list each of those. So you can then go through the coursework, and in section 9, the work to be completed, you can add a heading for each piece of work that you're going to have to do. Make sure it's formatted as a heading 2, and then it will appear automatically in your table of contents. You then are set up to do the work itself. So for the first half of the time that you have for the coursework, just throw notes into section 9 or into Evernote. Discuss things with fellow students. Throw ideas into section 9. I've just thought, wouldn't it be good if... and throw those into Evernote. And then there are the sources. Your lecturers will send you to sources, you'll find sources, those around you will find sources. Throw those into Evernote or Zotero, whichever is the best for you. So the first half of the time is just getting stuff into the general areas. In the third quarter, you'll still be doing some of that, but now you start to organise things. Organise the literature review, the bit that's in section 7. Organise the description of work in section 9. And turn these into English rather than just notes. You carry on doing that, refining and refining in each of your bits of coursework until you get to the final quarter, minus the last 2 weeks. Now what you do is you add a results section. So in this coursework, I have found that. Here is a list of my program. Or these are the conclusions that I am actually drawing. You then go to the table of contents, press F9 and choose the second option, the one that's not clicked. And that will update the table of contents for you and renumber everything that needs renumbering. You're now in a position 2 weeks before the hand-in date to upload the first version of your coursework. And this should get you through the pass barrier. So 2 weeks before your coursework is due in, you should have, if you've done things the way we're suggesting, you should have passed that course, or that coursework at least. But now it's the week before last, and now you have a lot of work to do. You've got to review your literature review and turn that into proper English. Make sure that only those items that you actually cite are in your literature review. Do not waffle, do not waste space. Complete section 8.2, your review of the plan. So what went well, what didn't go well, what time plan did you actually stick to? And that is needed in an objective way so that you can complete the evaluation at the end. And it's the evaluation that will score you a lot of marks. No one is going to complain if you didn't stick to your plan. They will complain if you say, oh, I didn't stick to my plan, and don't add the word because. It's because that's really useful. I didn't stick to my plan because I found I needed more time to understand whatever is going to get you extra marks. Complete section 11, the evaluation of the coursework. What went well, what didn't go well, what would you do differently next time, and so on. That evaluation, if done properly, not just a few trite sentences thrown together, but something that shows real thinking, that will get you good coursework marks. Then complete section 2, the preface. That's about what the generality of your experience. So what didn't go so well? Well, the printers at the university went down or whatever. That can all go in the preface. And the final section that you need to complete is the abstract. This is a 1/2 to 3/4 of a page distillation of what it is that your coursework actually found. So you explain the topic in one sentence, you explain your conclusions, and then you give a summary of that at the end. You can now move on to section 12, the bibliography, and if you've used Zotero, you just use Zotero to insert it for you. It will know which sources have been cited in this coursework and will lay them out in Harvard format or whichever format is required. You can then press F9 in the table of contents again, choose the second option, everything will be renumbered and any new sections added automatically, and then you can upload the second version of the coursework. You've now done rather better than just pass. So now it's down to the final week, and this is where you get down to the real nitty-gritty. You review the whole coursework from beginning to end, from the abstract right the way through to the bibliography. Check the English, check the spelling, the grammar, and so on. It doesn't matter whether you understand it or not. You're not the person marking it. It's whether your lecturer understands it or not. That matters. F9 the table of contents again, and again choose the second option, and upload that final version of the coursework, preferably a day or two early, because that makes sure that all bases are covered. And then you're into the really good mark zone.